Welcome back to the Obsessed or Not Interested show. I am Mindy Wenderquario, and this is Wait a Minute. These episodes will be short and sweet, where I share quick tips, advice, hot takes, and ADHD rants, all unedited and unfiltered. It's basically like we're best friends, and I'm sending you a 2 to 5 minute voice memo on random things. So buckle up and let's do this.
I just was voice memoing with one of my good friends, and we were on the topic of, I guess, your character. Let's just call it your character, but I guess different characteristics of who you are and what you want your reputation to be, what you want people to, like your legacy, I guess, like who you are, your character. And so we were just talking about parenting. So a lot of the people that listen to the show, you guys are parents. If you're not, that's okay too, and you're listening to this, it's totally fine. You can relate it to just how you want to show up to the world, to your family, to your friends, to your work environment, to your boss. Like this can be applied to anything. But what my friend and I were talking about was actually parenting. So we both had experienced something recently where it's so hard. Parenting is hard, man. It is hard. And it's so freaking hard when you see another parent, whether you're in a blended family and it's like a co-parenting situation, or it could even be your spouse, and you see them not showing up the way that you want to raise your kids. For example, we want to raise our kids to be consistent, right? So like if I say I'm going to work out and I say I'm going to be at your game and I say I want them to know like what I say, my word is gold. What I say holds weight, and what I say, like I say what I mean and I mean what I say. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And that's the person who I strive to show up. Not that I'm perfect and not that I don't screw up and not that sometimes, but I'm saying when like you have an average, okay? And 99% of the time, 98% of the time, when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. When I make a commitment to something, I'm freaking committed. And that started for me mostly. Like I really started taking it seriously when I became a parent because our children, so parents, listen up, our children, you don't even know it, but they are watching. Oh gosh, they are watching and paying attention to every, like the big and the small, every move we make, everything that comes out of our mouth, they're watching. And what happens is children don't always do what we say, but they mirror what we say. They will mirror what we say. So if you are mirroring to your children, like what you're doing is they're out and about and hanging out with people and they hear you always embellishing stories or always telling lies or saying that you're going to show up for something and say, I'm not going to that. Like not even to them, but like to other people. They're going to see you as somebody who's not very reliable, not trustworthy, not honest, not a man or a woman of your word. And they're just going to see you as just like not a solid human being, not a somebody who they can go to for anything and know like, hey, I know if I go to my dad, if I go to my mom and I say X, Y, and Z, it's going to get done. Right. So we were talking about this, my friend and I, and we both had experienced something recently where there was another parent in my situation, actually, and both of our situations said, hey, I'm going to be there at an event. Okay. And they tell our children this, I'm going to be there. I'm going to show up. And then they say, oh, well, so this is more important. Like something's more important, or they just don't show up with no excuse, or they come up with some BS excuse that the children, and by the way, kids can read through all of that. And they might even say, nod their head and say, okay, but they see through it. They see through the excuses that you try to make. They're not dumb. And so with that said, it just is really hard as somebody on the other end where it's like I'm doing the exact opposite thing in my parenting, right? If my kids come up, actually one of my kids just said that. He goes, you know what with you, Minnow, is that if I say this is how small it is. Guys, pay attention. This is how small it is for a child. This is a 12-year-old said this to me. He said, you know what it is with you, Minnow? I know that if I say, hey, I don't have any clothes for school tomorrow. Would you mind making sure that you wash my clothes and get it done before tomorrow? He goes, I don't have anxiety. I don't worry about it. I just know I'm going to wake up and my laundry is going to be done. That's because I have proven and shown up as this person who, would I say I'm going to do something? Because I won't, if I don't have the time, I'll tell him, you know what? I just don't have the time. Like, can you just figure out something else to wear? I just don't have the time, or it won't get done, or something else is in the washer. I'm not going to lie to him and try to just be the yes man. I'm not a yes man. I'm an honest woman. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you if I can or can't. And if I can, I'm going to do it. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. So, so this is how little it is for a child, you guys, just so you know. When you say, yes, I'm going to get your laundry done so you can wear, and by the way, they have clothes, right? But just like the clothes that this kid wants to wear, he wants a certain thing. He wants his clothes washed. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm doing it. And he goes, and I just know it's going to be done. I know that when I ask you to do something, if you say you're going to do it, you're going to do it. He goes, and the same thing, he just like really looks up to Joey as well. And he's saying same thing about Joey. He said, I just know if my dad says he's going to be somewhere, he's going to be somewhere. I know if I ask him to do something, he's going to show up for me. Like, I can rely on you guys. And he's like, and I really appreciate that. So I'm just like, wow. So that really spoke to me when I heard a child say something as little as laundry, or as little as going to a baseball game, or as little, like, these are little things maybe to you and I, but they're big things to a child. And it really makes an impact on their life. And also, you're telling your kid when you're lying, first of all, you're showing up as somebody that's not reliable. And this goes for friendship, this goes for marriage, this goes for um um in a work environment, this goes for all the things. But the message you're delivering to other people and just in the world is that your character is one of that is not reliable, is not trustworthy, and they can't bank on like you showing up for them. And do you want to be that friend? Do you want to be that, like, is that who you want your, like, when you pass away someday and people are at your funeral and your legacy, what people are going to remember you for, what is that? That's a really good question. And this one with today is, what is that legacy that you are leaving behind? Like, what will your children think of you when you're gone? Are they going to think of you as, I had a mom who never lied to me, shot me straight, would show up for me, went to my sporting events and made me feel so special, whether I had playing time or didn't have playing time, whether it was out of town or in town, like showed up for my stuff? Or are you gonna, what I don't know. So what are they gonna think of you as? Like, that's what you need to think about. Like, what is the legacy that you're leaving behind for your kids? And what another thing is to handle that is, I never, you guys heard I've done an episode on teachable moments. And this is what my kids are like, oh, teachable moment. Like, how you do anything is how you do everything. You guys heard that episode as well. Then I had a parenting episode where I talked about teachable moments. So this is what I do. I don't bash anybody. I don't talk smack. I will not make up excuses for other adults. I will not back somebody else's lie. I will just show up and be the example myself. And then I will also use these situations as teachable moments. Like, this is called being reliable. If you say you're doing something, you're good. I use what I just said on this podcast. I'll talk to my kids about these things because, again, children mirror our behavior. So if there is somebody in a child's life and they're coming to you and saying this, you don't have to bash anybody or talk smack or anything like that, but you do have to explain what the morals are, what their character should be, and what's right and wrong. And you do not have to back up bad behavior. And you do not have to say, oh, yeah, and like make excuses. That's the last thing you're going to do, because here's why. First of all, you'd never want to talk bad about any, you know what I mean? Never like that. But also, what you're doing is you're showing the child, your child, or that friend of yours, or whatever you want to apply this to. Right now, I'm just relating it to parenting because that was my situation. What you're showing your child or your children is that you also are in that same category because you're making excuses, you're backing up the lie, and that you're saying, oh, it's okay. And it's not. So you have to first show up as a parent instead of trying to just, make everything better. You get what I mean? Because you can do that just by you have no control into other people. You can only control yourself. So again, I just want you to ask yourself, I'm going to end it here. Ask yourself, what is the legacy that you're leaving behind, whether it's your friend, your spouse, or I mean your friends, your spouse, your children, your parents, like what are you leaving behind? What is your character? And by the way, you can change today. You can start changing what you want to, who you want to become. Write it down. Write this down. Who do you want to be? But then if you write this down and this is who you want to become, you need to start showing up like that. I mean, I know this is like tough love, matter of fact, but like, come on. Like, we are adults. We need to show up as an adult, and we need to be consistent, and we need to lead by example. If you are a parent, you have a responsibility and an obligation to lead by example, show up for your children, and be mere behavior that show up with your behavior that they're going to mirror. So who do you want your children to become? That's how you need to show up. So write down the vision of your future self and who you want to show up and what as every day, and who you want to be when you're gone, the legacy you want to leave, and start showing up as that, because you can change your character and you can change and become a better person and you can change your reputation, but you got to do it. Okay. So there's my end of my vent sesh after that situation that happened. Like I said, my friend and I were just voice memoing back and forth, and we both experienced something similar, and it's heartbreaking to have to watch children go through these things, but all you can do is all you can do, and show up as the best version of yourself and use them as teachable moments, and just show them that you are reliable, you are trustworthy. Okay, I'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to this week's Wait a Minute episode. I would love to hear your random thoughts and hot takes. So let's chat over on Instagram at obsessed or not interested. And I'd be so obsessed with you if you could take 2 seconds out of your day to rate and review this podcast. Love you guys.